Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live. I'm your host, Peter Lee. With me today, as always, is my sous chef, my right-hand man, my electrician, my producer, cameraman, director, my jack of all trades, and he's also my husband. You know him, you love him too. It's Phil Gordimer.
Wow, that was an intro.
Well, why not?
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, if you're watching this live or on replay. If you're live, take a second and go in chat and tell us where you're watching from so we can put you on the map and see where we all are. Thirsty.
Okay, you're thirsty. Got it. So normally we open with a cocktail, but you know we're going to be doing a lot of cooking today because it's shrimply delicious. It's all about shrimp today. So we're going to have some wine. Today we're going to be having, there it is, a 2018 Chardonnay from our favorite Long Island winery, the Old Fields. This is what we'll be enjoying. It's perfect with shrimp, perfect with anything. Here we go, dear. I'll give you a generous pour. You're going to come and get it?
Sure. See if I can walk around 4 cameras.
Yeah, we've got a few extras today. I'll just put that back there for later.
It's quite busy back here. We got food.
Yeah, we got stuff to do today.
We got stuff.
Cheers.
Hopefully we can cook it
Thanks
all
for
in
joining
time.
us.
And thank you,
That's good stuff.
Perry and Roz from...
Yes, from the Old Field. Lovely.
That's good stuff.
All right. It's all about shrimp today. Do you have anything you need to do first?
Hold on. I got to get rid of that.
Yeah. But you're good now? I can
I'm
start.
good.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, let me do this. So it's all about shrimp today. Shrimp is one of my favorite foods. It's probably one of the most versatile ingredients that you can ever have. You can put it in almost anything and you can make so many dishes from it. But there still seems to be a lot of confusion. I get a lot of questions. How do you cook it? What types are there? What are the sizes? What's farmed versus wild caught, frozen, whatever, etc., etc. So we're going to try and debunk some of those myths today. We're going to do some cooking. Hopefully we can get through 3 of my favorite shrimp dishes.
And hold on. And all of the recipes he talks about today are episodes that we've already done, and in the show notes description for this video is links to the 3 that we're going to try to do in 1 hour today.
We can do it. We can do it. So let's start talking about some shrimps and what is shrimp and what are the sizes, etc. And since I was kind of lazy, I didn't make myself notes today, so Phil's going to have to help me along in case I start to prattle or get lost or whatever. So there's several types of shrimps out there. You see them: tiger shrimp, pink shrimp, brown shrimp, white shrimp. The difference is just how they taste and where they're from in the coastal waters or in the world. But they're all delicious. Some are maybe a little sweeter than others. Some might be grow larger than other types, but they're all very similar, and they all have perfect merit. Where people get really confused is the sizing of shrimp. You see a lot of things will say super jumbo and double colossal and extra large and all of that. None of it means anything. Shrimp, as our little graphic says, they're graded by the size and count per pound as an average. So that's how you want to buy them, and that's how you'll see a lot of times. You might see for example, this is the type that I get, and this is the size that I like, 16 to 20 shrimp per pound. Now they call this extra jumbo, but some other markets, some other makers will call these just extra large or jumbo. So, the names of the sizes really, it varies way too crazy. But these that I get are frozen, and it's just my market brand. You can sometimes get kind of fresh from your fishmonger if you live in a coastal state.
Hold on, let me get rid of this.
Yeah.
So before we go too much further, let's dispel a memory about memory.
Oh, memory?
Really? A memory. A myth about fresh versus frozen
yeah.
when it comes to shrimp.
So when you get shrimp from your store, your supermarket, even if you go up to the fish counter, that stuff had been frozen. Most of the time, it's this that they've just thawed themselves. Unless you live at the shore in a coastal city and you see the boats coming in, then you're probably not getting fresh shrimp. And even then, the boats that are coming in, it's going to be frozen because they're usually, unless it's farm raised, but if they're wild caught, they're so far out at sea and they flash freeze them right on the boat. They treat them right there. But there's nothing wrong with any of that.
So it's not to say that fresh is better than frozen. In reality, frozen is usually better because if it is fresh and it's not sold and cooked within 2 days, it goes downhill very fast.
Yep. So don't we have a chart with some sizes?
I do.
Yeah. So now you can see all the different names and the sizes that shrimp come in. Now you'll notice in the first column, common sizing terms varies, and that's what I was saying, that, you know, one market will sell them as extra jumbo, 16 to 20, but you go down the road to the next supermarket and their brand says, you know, large, 16 to 20. So it's really meaningless. What counts is the shrimp per pound. And then this gives you an average serving. So if you figure 3 ounces as a serving for the U10s, 2 to 3 shrimp. Now, there's a little difference. What does that U mean? You've probably seen U15s, U10s, maybe U9s. That means under 10 per pound or under 12, whatever the number is. And that's because they are so big, it takes less than 10 shrimp to make a pound. So the smaller the number, the bigger the shrimp. So you see at the bottom, the tiny shrimp, 71 plus a pound. You know, that's probably those little tiny baby ones that come in a can that you would need to make a whole pound.
And what's the ones that we usually use the most?
16s, 20s
Right.
pound. Now this is 4 to 5 shrimp. We do a little more than that, but depending on what it is. But that's actually a decent, we usually go 5 to 6 shrimp, and that's a decent serving.
Well, unless we're doing shrimp fondue.
Well, yeah, but that's when I try and do portion control.
All right, so let's get back to us for a second here. So if you're in chat, let us know where you're from so we can put you up on the map. So let's see who we got on our map now. So let me pop the map up. And then let's see who
Anybody
we got
out there today?
Well, we got us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then we have, oh, Marge is back from Toronto.
Oh. Hi, Marge. Thanks for tuning in.
And then we have Mark from Florida.
Awesome.
Mark, weren't you in Wilton Manor the last time you said you were in Florida? Just saying.
I don't know where Wilton Manor is in relation to... Oh, Dawn from Cape May. Awesome.
Reggie. I think Reggie's new.
From the cold Scranton.
PA.
We are very familiar with Scranton.
And of course, we have good old Hank, who's our regular.
Excellent, Hank.
Really didn't pick up Phoenix? Oh, well. Doesn't matter.
Stupid old thing.
All right, well, that's a start. We'll keep adding to the map as we go today.
All right,
So
that's good. I was a little nervous when we were like, there's no one in chat. There's no one here watching. So that's good. We've got a few people anyway. So can we start doing some cooking maybe?
that would be nice.
And I know we have a whole bunch of questions that people have sent in.
Yeah, I was hungry, so.
All right, so one question I get is, what can you do with shrimp? So 3 things come to mind for me right off the top of my head. Of course, the very first one is the classic shrimp cocktail. We're going to start by making the cocktail sauce. Yes, you can buy it jarred, but why? You can make it so much better if you make it yourself. Now, normally, I would have made this last night, so all those flavors could get to know each other, but I'm going to do this for you today, and Phil and I will suffer through and eat the freshly made. I like to start with horseradish. This is my favorite brand, and you know, however much. I don't have the recipe in front of me to tell you 2 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons. I'm just going to put a glop in. We like a lot of horseradish.
The video with the recipe is in the show notes.
Yep. Of course, ketchup is next. And we'll say, well, that amount to start. We can adjust that later. I like to use a little Worcester sauce. It adds a little complexity. You know, Worcester sauce has anchovies in it, so it adds that little bit of, I don't want to say funk, but funk. It has that something in the background, I guess. In these days, they would call it umami. Lemon juice. Grab a knife. Just the juice of 1 lemon. And don't worry about making this too soupy to start. And there's 2 reasons. You can add more ketchup to thicken it up. But once it sits overnight too, it'll thicken up on its own. So, juice of a lemon.
And fresh is always
Fresh
better.
is always best, and this is squirting all over the table, but oh well. All right, that will do. And then a little unusual, I like to add a tiny sprinkle of Old Bay seasoning, which actually is not in my original recipe, just something that I decided to add today.
What's in Old Bay?
A whole bunch of stuff. Well, you know, there's salt, there's cayenne, as it say, celery, salt, spices, including red pepper, black pepper, and paprika. So whatever spices is. But it's common, if you don't know what Old Bay is, it's a common seafood seasoning for boiling or steaming. You use them a lot for crab boils and shrimp.
Mostly the East Coast. It's an East Coast thing.
I think now you can get it on the West Coast. I know for a while you couldn't. So we're just going to mix this up. Lovely.
Once you've made this, why don't you talk about how shrimp comes to you,
Yep.
the frozen shrimp, and then more importantly, how to cook it the right way.
Yeah,
And then,
that's pretty good. Sometimes I'll add hot sauce to this. This horseradish is really strong, so it's perfect the way it is. So, a shrimp cocktail. I want to make a shrimp cocktail, but with booze. You know, Beth, that's a great idea. I do too. I'll have to think about that. I have seen where people on TV where they've made a lobster martini by using the lobster shells and using that liquid, which is terrifying and sounds delicious at the same time. All right, let's clear this. There we go. I happen to have here, look at that, a couple of shrimp cocktails. Now, these are very, very large shrimp. These are the U15s, and they're very, very big, perfect for something like this.
yeah, the martini glass is just even better.
Right. Now, of course, I had to pull these out a few minutes before we started, but they were right from the freezer, so you want your glasses chilled. And then I just like, right inside here, to put my cocktail sauce. You might garnish it again with a little wedge of lemon.
I was going to say, do we have a wedge of lemon to go there?
I'd have to get another lemon out of the bag there. All right. Shrimp cocktail. Easy peasy. So, how do shrimp come to you? How do you cook them? How did I cook these? Most of the time, like we said, shrimp comes, you get it frozen. What are you pointing at?
Don't look at me, look at them.
That's because you were moving and pointing.
That's the director in me.
Yes, dear. Most of the time you get them frozen, and they come in bags like I showed you. But sometimes, you know, you'll find them at the fish counter in your store, and they're all laid out and they're pretty. Now, you get them in different ways. You can get them raw, whole, with the head on, and they're not cleaned or deveined or anything. More often than not, you're going to get them without the head, and then you can get them with the shell on, uncleaned or cleaned.
How about showing some? I know we have them.
I'm getting there, dear.
Okay.
Do you want to do this? Because I'll sit on my butt for the next hour, sweetheart. Really. I'm not gonna let you have this now. See?
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Okay. I will show you. Even though I was going to show you anyway, I'll show you now. So you get them uncleaned or cleaned. Now a lot of times the frozen ones come already deveined, and those you can get shell on or shell off. A lot of times, like the ones I bought, are called easy peel because they've already been deveined and the shell has a cut down the back of it so you can easily take it off. Here, the little shrimper with his head. See his cute little face. Hi, how you doing? This is a whole shrimp. It's not cleaned. These are ones that I bought that had a shell on them, and I took the shells off, but they came deveined. And when you hear deveined and cleaned, I'll show you. I'll show you how to prepare one of these. But it means this, where the intestinal tract or the poop is all taken out and cleaned for you. It's not difficult to do. It might take a little practice.
Why would you want to buy it in the shelf and do it yourself?
I was just going to get to that. So why do we want to buy it? Do you want to field that question? A lot of chefs feel that the purist, you have to get it with the head on and in the shell because you get a better flavor. Certainly with the shell on, if you're going to boil them, which I don't like to do, it protects it a little more. And even when you're steaming, it protects it a little more. But I don't necessarily want to do all this work, so I buy them pre-cleaned. It's not difficult though. I'll show you. Don't be grossed out. I know some of you are going to. You just take its little head and you just twist it right off. There you go. And that's not blood, that's just other stuff. This shrimp head you don't want to throw out. Save it because you can make stock out of that. And it's a delicacy. A lot of chefs will deep fry these.
Fried shrimp heads.
And there's so much flavor in there. So now we have this headless shrimp. And how do we get to it? You need a sharp little knife. Now see if I can show you this on camera. I think that red is the roe.
It is.
Yeah.
You got a female.
Yeah. So you carefully just cut down the back, not very deeply at all, and it may take you a moment to get through the shell. That's why you need a sharp knife. You just make a slit, and you need to do it carefully. It's very easy to slice right through the shrimp. And then you peel away the shell, and you see, if you can see that, it's opened up the back, and that black line there is the intestinal tract. That's the poop. That's what you want to get out. So what I like to do is take the shell off. A lot of people will leave the tail on. I don't like leaving the tail on because I don't like the shrapnel afterwards. But you just take it off, slit down the back, and then you can just scrape it out. It's pretty easy. Now, when you have to do 24 of these or more, it can kind of be a pain in the neck. My mother she didn't cook shrimp very often because in those days you couldn't get the pre-cleaned. So she would stand at the sink for hours doing shrimp after shrimp after shrimp. But it's just that simple. Now, as I say, a lot of chefs, a lot of purists will say this shrimp is going to taste better than these shrimp. I don't know. I think these are perfectly fine, personally. But I like the idea of being able to get them with the heads so that you get that extra flavor in a stock. Christine, I'm afraid of touching raw shrimp. It's really not that bad. It doesn't feel like anything. It's no different than touching raw chicken or raw beef or anything else.
Gloves.
You could wear gloves if you wanted to. I don't like wearing gloves. I need to feel my food. But yeah, wear gloves.
No, this is a good one.
What's that? Amanda, why is shrimp called a heart-healthy food when it has a ton of cholesterol? That's a good question. And a lot of people ask that and wonder that. And I believe the reason is shrimp doesn't have fat. It doesn't have the saturated fats that would transport the cholesterol into your body. So it's more, they have so much other health benefits, right?
No carb.
No carbs, low on the glycemic index, I believe. There's all kinds of nutrients and amino acids and things in it We had found something earlier that had explained all
Yeah.
that. Do you remember what it
Hold
was
on.
about?
Why am I got the wrong? Here we go.
There you are.
In a normal 3 to 4 ounce portion, there's only 166 grams of cholesterol, which is only less than half of what it is for a day. So as a single item, yes, it's high cholesterol, but in proportion to what you're eating, it actually isn't that big of a deal. Oh yeah, here's a related one.
My doctor says that shrimp is perfect for diabetics as almost zero carbs and low in the glycemic index. That's correct. It's good for a lot of things, and it's just a very healthy food. Now, granted, if you eat a pound of shrimp a day every day, then you deserve what you get. It can be a little expensive sometimes, so you're probably not going to eat it every single day. From Carol, ironically, I am allergic to shellfish, but not shrimp. Oh, that's lucky. Now, I said don't throw out the heads when you clean a bunch of shrimp. Don't throw out these shells either. Save them. You can put these back in the freezer even if they have been frozen once, but you can make the most delicious shrimp stock with these shells. And we're going to put these shells and the head in there too. So don't just chuck them. All right, let's do some more cooking. I'm going to get my water back going. So our next dish we're going to make is called, we call it Aspen Hill shrimp. You may know it, you may have seen the recipe for, what do we call it? Garlic butter fondue shrimp?
Shrimp garlic butter fondue.
Yeah.
Our name for it years ago was called
Aspen Hill shrimp. And I'll tell you the story behind it. The first place we lived, we rented a townhouse in a rather exclusive community. And, excuse me, our address was number 34 Aspen Hill, and we thought that sounded very upmarket. It was a beautiful townhouse.
You mean snooty?
Okay, upmarket, dear. It was a beautiful home. It was very, very large. It was 4 bedrooms. We had 3 bathrooms. It was about 2,000 square feet, I think. And we were having our first dinner party, and I thought, okay, I need an appetizer that everyone's going to love. It's just going to wow people. So I started thinking about what flavors do people like and I thought, I love shrimp scampi, and everyone I know loves shrimp scampi, so how do I turn that into an appetizer? As it turned out, I happened to have gotten a fondue set. Not this one, a different one, but I gotten one for Christmas from one of my brothers. And I thought, what if I turn that shrimp scampi into a fondue type appetizer? So, this is the fondue. We're going to get to this in a minute.
Oops.
Because first I want to talk about how we're going to cook the shrimp. Now I've got water coming up to a boil, but not just water. In my steamer here, I have some water, some red wine vinegar, and some Old Bay.
And lemon?
Good old, no.
No lemon this time?
No.
Okay. Hey, I love Hank's insights into this because of what he used to do.
Back in the day, if you were a pre-cook at Red Lobster, you might spend your entire shift on the weekends peeling and deveining raw shrimp. Yeah, I remember days like that. Yeah. You're going to be chopping carrots for the next 12 hours. Great. Yay. Yeah, I know. All right, this is starting to get nice and steamy. So I have lots of shrimp here. Probably more than I needed.
Oh, I see. It's focusing on
Oh, on what?
on the fondue pot. Just push it over a hair.
All right.
There you go.
There we go.
Now the camera's focused.
All right, so I've got some shrimps. These are 16 to 20s. We're going to steam them. I love steaming shrimp more than any other cooking method. I don't like boiling them because they're so tiny, and even when they're shell on, it's too easy to get waterlogged. So we're going to steam them. And this is already getting steamy.
Steaming, believe it or not, is gentler, even though the steam is hotter.
Yep.
But you don't get waterlogged shrimp. When you boil shrimp, even with the shells on, even though it cooks quite quickly, it tends to get a little bit waterlogged and mushy, even if you don't overcook it. And speaking of overcooking,
Now, the most important thing to cooking shrimp, especially in this recipe, is don't overcook the shrimp. No matter how you cook them, whether you fry them or roast them or grill them or steam them, don't overdo it. I was sharing one of my recipes with a friend of mine, probably about 20 years ago, and I said, yeah, you just need to steam the shrimp for 4 to 5 minutes. She heard it as 45 minutes, and she steamed her shrimp for 45 minutes. And then she called me the next day complaining that they were all rubbery and mealy and horrible, and how could I tell the wrong thing? So I said, walk me through what you did. And she said, I did what you told me. I steamed them for 45 minutes. I said, no, 4 or 5, not 45. What you want to do when you're steaming shrimp, or cooking shrimp anyway, but we'll talk steaming, you'll see them starting to change color. When they start to curl up, pull them out. Now in this recipe, you want to undercook them. And there's a reason. We'll get to that. But you really want to undercook them. And I'm going to put them back in the same bowl. And before you worry, oh, you had raw shrimp, you're going to put the cooked shrimp back in. That's okay. It's going to get cooked a second time. It'll be fine. We want to make sure that they've just turned pink. And they're still a little translucent inside. Now, what does that mean? Translucent is, it's almost like you could see through it versus it being opaque where it's totally white or pink. So you want to catch it just before it goes all the way pink. And you'll know because they start to curl up. Now, I have a lot of shrimp here. I'm going to give them a little stir just to keep them.
There we go. I'm seeing pink slowly.
Yep.
Actually, while you're seeing pink,
all right, I'll get it for you.
I'll get it. You denied it for me. I'll get it myself.
You were mean to me.
I'm not mean to you.
You were mean to me on camera, scolding me.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell we've been married for a long time?
For how many years?
23 years, this May. These are coming along nicely. You want to see them turn pink. So here's an example. Here's one. I'm pulling it out because it's done. Here's another one. Still a little translucent, still a little, not all the way cooked.
Oh, that's a good picture from that camera. And then we'll switch to that one.
Yep.
And then we'll switch back.
And honestly, even if you're just going to cook these, say, later and you're going to chill them and have them, you know, like in a shrimp cocktail, pull them out a little before you think that they're ready, because carryover cooking is going to finish them up. And this is how fast this comes together. Now, this fondue that we're going to be putting these in, it's not exactly fondue. What I have there in my fondue pot is a pound of butter, salted butter, and 3 big heads of garlic that I had roasted in the oven. So it gets all caramelized and sweet. And then I put that roasted garlic into the butter, whizzed it together with my immersion blender, and I did that last night so that all that garlic and butter just comes together. Now I got it really hot on my burner here. I brought it up to a boil actually.
Commercial break. Hey.
Hi. Is it good? Mm-hmm. Okay. I brought it up to the boil, and now it's on my great big thing there, keeping nice and hot. So these shrimp, even though you're thinking they're not cooked, they really are, but we're 99% of the way there. We're going to finish cooking them in that hot butter.
Yeah, I just realized.
What?
That, 2 weeks ago we did cast iron cooking, and what's the fondue in?
I know, cast iron.
Cast iron
I
pot.
know. That's all right, dear. That's okay. So this is an appetizer that I serve to you the first time you come over for dinner. And that's the only time you ever get it, because people start to expect it. And we've learned the hard way we really have to do portion control, because there have been many times when we first started making this that, I cooked 2 or 3 pounds of shrimp, and then our guests would eat all that, and then no one ate their dinner.
Here's an interesting one.
Let's see if I can bring this up on the board here. What?
My mom used to put tiny canned shrimp in her macaroni salad.
You know what? The first job I had cooking job was at a deli and restaurant, and we had to make our own macaroni salad. Everything else it was, you know, the kind that they get from the food services, but they were known for the macaroni salad. And they used tiny shells and those little shrimp, and we couldn't keep it in-house. And it really wasn't all that special. It just had the pasta, mayonnaise, celery and onions, but those darn little shrimp. So that's fun that your mom used to do that too. All right, let's get this up here. Ooh, I did it. Okay. So here's Aspen Hill shrimp. I know we can't see down into there. I wonder if I could tip that up.
Take the top off.
Right.
And gently.
Yes, dear.
There we go.
Can you see with the other camera?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yep. So that's the butter fondue.
Garlic.
Yes.
That's all fallen to the bottom.
So the shrimp, spear one securely, and we're going to put it in, give it a little stir, and we're just going to let it hang out just for a moment or two. And it's going to start soaking up that butter and that garlic. It's going to finish cooking. I better get myself a napkin because it's going to be dribbly. And see, you had to have that shrimp cocktail. Now, I have all this Aspen Hill shrimp to eat. I could spend the rest of the hour just sitting here.
I could walk over there and get some.
All right.
Hold on,
Here we go.
Let me get zoomed down in there.
Yeah. We ready?
Show it and hold.
Okay. So here it is. This is coated in the butter fats because when you melt butter and all the fat, the butter solids go to the bottom with all that garlic.
All that garlic.
Yeah, so, and the longer this will heat, the thicker it gets that way. So here we go. Mm-hmm. That's pretty darn good. It's like shrimp scampi. Butter, garlic, shrimp.
Ooh.
A little salty. What's not to love?
Well, it just cleared my nasal passages. Ooh.
Good.
Cocktail sauce is hot.
Ha. Though we have a friend who is mildly obsessed with garlic, and he says this is not garlicky enough. But okay.
It's 3 and 4 heads of garlic.
I know, but you know Ken. All right, let me carefully get rid of this. Now, after we
Hank says boiling or steaming not under pressure, the temperature of the pot would never exceed 212. Mm-hmm. But, Hank, the comment that I'm making is most people, when they boil shrimp, it's not in a... Well, let me get back to me here.
Back to you, Bob.
It's not a full rolling boil, so the water is not really up to boiling. It's sort of simmering. Yet steam, by nature of it, is already hot, and it tends to do a better job.
All right, give me a moment, because we're going to go on to our next recipe. Because it's 10 after 4 already.
All right, while you do that, let me comment a bit. So, we do not have... Hello, why am I not here? Super source.
You're not there.
There we go.
There you are.
Normally we feature a new or small cooking channel that I like to, but what I thought I'd do today is rather than featuring one, I've had a lot of questions about how I find them. So I thought I'd just talk about it while he switches things around. And really, once you've joined and followed a cooking channel, your feed in your YouTube will start to show you some others. But some of the best resources are on existing channels. So I'm going to pick our friend Karen from In the Kitchen with the Karen. And most cooking channels will have a section called channels. And if you hit it, these are all the channels that Karen in the Kitchen subscribes to. Now, not all channels will make their channel subscriptions public. We do not either, but many do. And Karen has hundreds of them in here. A lot of times we can look. So I can go on to Fergie's Kitchen right here. And what am I looking for? The first thing I'm looking for is how many subscribers. So you've got 479 videos. That's a lot of videos only 900 subscribers, so that's definitely small. But then what I look at is I hit the videos tab and I want to see how current they are. So 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So this person is posting regularly. A lot of times you'll go to a small channel and you'll hit videos and you'll find they haven't done one in a year or 2 years because they gave up. So I'm looking for small. I'm looking for are they current? And then I'll go back and watch one to see if it's relevant to what we're doing. So I see here there's a lot of news. I'm seeing some recipes, so this is a channel that's doing a little bit more. And again, you can kind of take that to the nth degree. I'll go back again to another one for In the Kitchen with Karen. Let's see, we've got, here we go, Bart Lewis Barbecue. 6,000, he's pretty big. 197 videos. I look at videos and I see, okay, well, an hour ago, 7 days ago, 13 days ago. So this is someone who is posting regularly. We know exactly what it is. It's Barton's Barbecue. And then I'll go ahead and watch 2 or 3 episodes. And if I'm really liking them, I'll subscribe to them. I'll usually ask them if they mind if I feature them. I will not actually feature one without their permission, even if they are a public channel. Hence, I don't have any for this week. But you can kind of see the process I go through. And again, I can look at his ones for channels, so he doesn't have any available. But you kind of get the idea. All right, and I see that you are ready.
Yes, dear. Alrighty, now, next up, we're going to make a recipe. We're going to make some shrimp cakes. This recipe that we're making, this concoction that I'm putting together, I have used in so many different ways. I've made it into shrimp cakes. I've made mini ones. I've made big ones. I've used this as a filling for dumplings and wontons. I've made this into little shrimp balls and I've poached them in escarole soup, chicken escarole soup. So there's just so many different things you can do with it. I got a lot of stuff here, but it goes pretty quickly. We're going to start. Have a single slice of bread, just plain old ordinary bread, and some milk. We're just going to pour that on, and we're going to let it soak there for a few minutes. This is our binder, and so it's going to provide moisture. Next up, actually I'm going to get my oil starting to heat up a little bit. Just need a drizzle of oil in my pan, not too much, enough to coat the bottom really. We'll get rid of that. Put that on very, very low so it doesn't get too hot. In my food processor.
Boy, you got a lot of stuff over there.
I know. First is bacon. A couple slices. I just cut it up a little bit to get it started. We want to give this a pulse to get it going. We want it pretty finely chopped. What's next? The shrimp is next. This is, about 3/4 of a pound or so. Right in. Now we want to give this just a couple pulses just to start breaking up the shrimp and combine it with that bacon. We don't want to obliterate the shrimp. That's about good. Now this is how easy it is. All the rest of the ingredients go in. Remember that bread? Here it is. I just want to squeeze out any excess, just like that. And we're going to put that in. Oops. Let me dry my little hands. Scallions. This was one large scallion. You may need 2 or 3. You want about 1/2 cup of sliced scallions. Right in. Cilantro. A couple tablespoons. Some cornstarch. And some sugar. This is like 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. A little unusual, but it helps bring all the flavors together. A little bit of salt, because it's got that bacon in there, but you still need a little more. and a good grinding of pepper. All right, let's turn that up. And now we just put our lid back on and do a few pulses just to bring this all together. Just like that. Now, I'm going to put this out of the way. I have a little scoop here. A little ice cream or portion size scoop. Is that coming up? I think so. I'm going to make little mini shrimp cakes, so I'm just going to take some in here, right in my oil. You can make these into bigger size, full size patties if you wanted. You could make this into little shrimp balls, whatever you like. But we're just going to fry them for a couple moments on one side, and then we'll turn them over and flatten them down a bit. These are always a hit.
How would you serve this? Is this a main dish or is this an
Getting to
appetizer?
that, I just took a breath to go into that, dear. So I like to serve these as an appetizer. They keep warm really well, but they're pretty good at room temperature too. So you don't have to worry about if they're sitting on your buffet or whatever, that they cool off, because they're just as delicious. Now, what do I serve them with? Normally, you can use it with some cocktail sauce. You can make a flavored mayonnaise. I do one with soy and lemon and mayonnaise. They're really good just on their own. They're good with a little spicy mustard, if you like that. So you can serve them with any type of sauce you like. All right. These cook pretty quickly. I'm going to turn that down. And you really just want to cook them for a minute until they're browned. Let me grab another. I'll use this. Oops. Now I'm going to have to set up, dear. All right. Nice and golden. I'm going to flatten that out a bit. Just like that. Could you, Philip, scamper over and get me a paper towel? Thank you. Look how beautiful they are. Brown. Thank you.
Production assistant to the rescue.
Yes, thank you.
Good, I'm on my last shrimp anyway.
Oh. Do we have more questions and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, there's 19 people watching this live, but there's
that's
only
awesome.
7 likes. Take
Oh.
a second to hit that like button. It really helps us.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Now, again, once these are browned on both sides, pull them out, carry over cooking. We'll finish cooking them through, and you can pop them in a warm oven because you're probably going to need to do this in batches. Jamie, shrimp always tastes rubbery to me. Then I would bet that you're overcooking it. I'm just going to keep going with these for a few minutes. I'm going to start pulling them because they're heated all the way through and they're going to keep cooking. What is your favorite shrimp dish? Mine is shrimp scampi. Well, so is mine, which is why I made Aspen Hill shrimp. That's probably my all-time favorite. Not something we have very often. It is a little decadent, dipping shrimp into garlic butter like that. But yeah. Though I don't know that I don't make shrimp scampi very often, and we've talked about maybe doing it as an episode, but to me it seems like everyone knows how to make shrimp scampi, but maybe I should. What do you people out there think? Should we do a shrimp scampi episode?
Can you take a second and move the shrimp from the top.
This?
No. What's your... Yeah.
Use your words. This?
Yes.
Move to where?
Take it off there so we can focus in on the shrimp.
Well, I was going to continue to cook, dear, but
It's
okay.
all right. I just want them to see it in focus. There we go. Because it was out of focus.
So that's what they look like. They're going to keep cooking, and I'm going to keep cooking. Is this still on? Yes, it is. All right. What's next, dear? What else we got?
Hold on. Let me get back to the right screen. Oh, okay. This is a good one.
Fried shrimp is a guilty pleasure of mine. Yeah, mine too. And, you know, we just found we eat very few prepared processed foods. But we did find one just recently, and it's frozen, breaded, fried shrimp that are pre-cooked, and you just heat them up in your oven. And we don't have them very often, but they're so darn delicious. I like fried shrimp. I don't make them from scratch very often, especially now that we found the frozen ones. What else can you do with shrimp besides steaming and frying? Oh, there's so many. I mean, you can have it with pasta. You can have it with eggs. You can do appetizers. You know, wrap it in bacon with a little piece of jalapeno, and you get this little hot, shrimpy, bacony popper type of deal. You can make shrimp puffs.
This is a good question because the answer is not obvious, at least to most people.
What's better, wild caught or farm raised? I don't know that either one is better. Though people seem to be of two camps, that they will only have wild caught. Some people don't care either way. It can be tough to find wild caught. There are some markets around here where we live where I know I can get them, but they're not, like my local markets don't have them. I have to go a few towns away for it. So there's just personal preference.
And because they're frozen, usually while they've been caught immediately, there isn't a whole lot of difference. I mean, wild caught might be better just because there's a variety, like a tiger shrimp or something, which can't be farm raised. But it doesn't really matter, especially when you're adding stuff to things.
That's good. Quality control.
Yes, there you go.
So these are great because you get that bacony taste. Oh wait, when I have parties, I get those frozen shrimp rings. Super easy and no cooking.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
But you know, dear, they're not good for you, Dorothy. A lot of people love them. I know when we were catering back in the day, all we had to do was have, and even at our own parties now, just steam some shrimp, put cold shrimp out.
Okay, I got one that's going to make you laugh.
All right.
Ready?
Sure. From Kyle, what kind of shrimp is butterfly shrimp? Okay, that's
I told you.
a good question. And I'm not laughing
Yes,
at
you are.
that person. You know what? I can show you while these cook. Butterfly shrimp. Actually, I wish I had saved.
So it's a technique.
It's a technique. It's
not
how
a brand or a species.
you mostly find butterfly shrimp when they're fried. We're going to be fried. You see them in restaurants. You see them at the fish counter. And all they really do is when they cut the shrimp and they clean it, they then cut it open and open up the meat like a set of butterfly wings. I don't know if it'll work on a cooked one, but we'll try it. I need a little knife. So they would just cut it that way and then open up all that meat so that you get this bigger piece of shrimp. Maybe you can see that.
Turn it over. There you go. It's easier to see.
So you can see that.
Yep.
And you would do this not only for frying to make it seem bigger, but if you were going to do stuffed shrimp or something, you would butterfly it because that gives you more area there to put your stuffing. So it's really just a technique. It's not a species or a type. Just another way of preparing them.
My scuba diving days here.
What?
Look up.
I heard some fishermen call shrimp bugs. Well, I don't know about fishermen, but scuba divers call lobster bugs because they really are the bugs of the sea. So I could see fishermen doing that too. But you know, that turns people off when they hear that. And they, oh, you're eating a bug. I suppose probably, I mean, they probably really are, like underwater bugs.
Jolene says, I always have a bag of frozen shrimp to pull out for just a side dish. A bag can last weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always keep them in the freezer too. You know, you're making pasta, you want to beef it up, you throw in some shrimp. You need a quick appetizer, or even just a quick meal. There have been many times where we've just made a salad of a meal of a big salad and some steamed shrimp with it.
Okay, so here's one that's off topic, but it's kind of funny.
What's that? From Dan, I admit I was skeptical about the carrot martini episode, but it was strangely good. Yes, if you haven't seen Friday night's episode, we did it's a carrot martini we call the Buzz Bunny. And it's delicious, and we had a lot of fun developing it. And we did it right before Easter on purpose. All right. So I love these because they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be pretty. These got a little overdone because I was talking about butterflying the shrimp, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to turn that off. Get these guys out. And that is 3 shrimp recipes that we did today.
And you'll talk about great timing. It's almost 4:30.
I see that. And
all right, so let's get the other questions that are not related to this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I would like one, please.
Okay.
Just saying.
I'm coming. I'm coming. Guys are coming.
Really?
For real.
I love it. Just a bottle in a hand.
That's your left hand, though, dear. There you go.
Service with a smile.
Heavens. So what else?
Yeah, right. So Milo wants to know what was our latest adventure. We don't think of them as adventures. We think them as outings for uncontrolled men.
What was our latest adventure? When Paul came down from Scranton and we went whining?
Yeah, and then last night we went to...
That's right. Last night we went into Philadelphia and had Moroccan food at this wonderful restaurant called Marrakesh. And they've been open for, what, 43 years?
Yep.
And we know several people who lived in Morocco, and it is an absolutely authentic experience. Wonderful place. Except the belly dancers upset me. What else? What's next? We haven't had more questions. It seemed like we were getting... From Dave, isn't camping season coming up for you guys? And will we see more episodes from your campground? Yes, camp opens in about a month, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we're probably going to film up there. The live streams, though...
Probably will not do from up there. Yeah. We have so much more equipment, as you're seeing today, with 1 camera, 2 camera, 3 camera, 4 camera. This is a lot of stuff to drag up to camp.
And try and get
set it up, and then break it down and bring it home.
Moving the live streams to 3:30 allows us to go to camp on Sundays, get up, have breakfast, and leave at a decent hour by like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and that gives us plenty of time to get home and do the live stream. But we will, I'm sure, be filming regular episodes up there, especially if we're going to be there for a long weekend or during an entire week. Like we usually take a week's vacation and spend a whole week up there together. And
yep. So... yeah, our Facebook chat was very good. Our YouTube chat, we just had Hank in today. It's kind of a shame, even though we got 15 people watching. So for those watching, if you have a question, type it into live chat. We will answer it.
We haven't seen Dixie and Phil in a while.
We have not. Even our son, that means we might actually have dinner alone tonight. Yay! Quiet dinner.
Well, they asked earlier what was the live stream. I wonder where they are. Maybe they got a better offer, or they're just not talking.
Who knows?
Usual.
Okay, where are we here? Let me go back to there.
So I hope we've answered some questions for you about shrimp and cleared up some confusion. Oh, Manny wants to know what's on the menu. Is that our Manny from camp? Purple!
Probably. Yes, it is.
Okay, so what's on the menu tonight? Well, if we're feeling up to it after we clean all this up, we're going to be filming, or trying to again film, Rhode Island clam chowder. We tried to film it last week. I was steaming open the clams, and all of a sudden, two of the cameras went bzz and died. And we couldn't stop, I couldn't unsteam the clams to get them to open. So we just made it the soup and ate it and fixed the cameras and filmed something else.
Yay!
So hopefully we'll be doing that today. Oh, great, Dixie. Yay! Happy Easter. I'm so glad. I'll be doing more chicken soon, don't worry. But here's some shrimp recipes.
And they're from Binghamton, New York, so
Yes.
we'll have to get them on the map.
Yes. We'll be up in your neck of the woods soon. We're going to be going up to the Finger Lakes, to the wineries. Isn't that coming? That's in June with Joe and Peggy.
With Canvas Campers? That's in June.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, those are our adventures.
So let's talk about, hold on here.
Oh, so anyway, what else, from Manny, what else was on the menu tonight? If we get the soup done, then great. And then I'm making braised lamb shanks and fluffy mashed potatoes and a great big salad.
Okay, so Hank.
The demo style much better than just the chat, just saying great show. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I've been trying to convince him I need to cook at least one meal, cook something. Making a cocktail doesn't cut it. All right, we'll have to find that balance of chat and cooking stuff. So, but even if we repeat episodes like we did today and cook them live, it's kind of fun.
Huh, that's weird.
Thank you, Hank. What's weird?
One of my computer screens just went blank. So here's what we got coming up. That's our next live stream in 2 weeks.
I don't know how we'll cook with that, but we'll figure it out.
Why did that go away so fast? There we go. So we're going to talk about
types of cutting boards,
plastic
sizes
versus wood versus
glass.
bamboo and glass and teak and all sorts of things.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, you can see that we're showing off a nice new teak board that we spent way more money than we should have on, but it's amazing.
Yeah, this was one of those where he's like, no, it didn't cost, and then I see the bank account. I was like, what? You said. Yeah.
I'm sorry that you deserve it. Wow.
I'm worth it.
Well, it was just Pete Fest.
I know. Was this one of my presents? Because
Well, so yes.
I mean, the best presents I got were from our kids. Just saying. The craft beers.
All right, Dixie agrees too. So I guess we are going to have to.
Yes, we have to do more cooking on these live streams.
We got to do more cooking on the live stream. So we got to figure it out. Sounds good. Well, then, people, if that's what you want to do, then we need your suggestions. So if you're part of the Facebook, hold on, come here. Here we go. If you're part of the Facebook group, leave us a message in Facebook on what you'd like to see. Most of the chats that you've seen that come up that I put like up in here that says Facebook, we can't do live chat from there, but these are questions that were posed to us either publicly in Facebook or as private direct messages.
Yep.
I type them in and we save them up and then we keep them in here. If you're not part of the Facebook, hop on our website and there's a contact form, or you can just email us at info@letscelebrate.tv and we'll figure it out. If it's something we've done before, then we'll try to pull it up and demo it. If it's not something we've done, we'll do some research and see if we can make
it out.
Make a recipe. We might ask you some more questions. So you tell us what you want to see, and then we'll make it happen somehow.
We're also trying to have a few more guest stars on these live streams. Like we're trying to get our friend Joanne Neuner to Joanne Ventura to come and be a guest with us.
Especially since she said she doesn't make her own homemade pasta.
Right.
We can have a little fun with that.
Yeah. So, so I think we're about Are we about wrapped up? It's
We are wrapped up.
4:36. We're
Yes.
over. Oh no.
We have to let all these other people
I know.
go
about
do
their
their
day.
stuff. We got to clean up, figure out if we're going to film tonight.
I guess that means no. I guess I'm.
I didn't say it was no. I just said
Yeah.
takes
All
me
right,
about an
well-
hour to break this down and convert it back to film mode.
Well, I think we need to open the window too because it's very shrimpy smelling down here. That's the only problem. This studio is in our basement, and the odors tend to linger. All right. Anyway, let's wrap this up and let everyone go about their day, and we need to go about our day. So thank you all for joining us. We love these live streams. This is so much fun, and we hope that you enjoy them too. And like Phil said, hit us up at our website, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and keep watching and keep subscribing and everything.
Or before you leave, in the bottom of this live stream, in the comments section, leave what you'd like us to do or what you liked or didn't like. Even if the live stream is over, you can still leave comments anytime, and we'll read them.
We'll get them.
We'll get them.
So we'll hang out and chat for a few minutes. But I think until next time, cheers.